working now.
Yeah. I mean, not only that, you also have the Alpha, right, behind Super Ken with the Spear of Alphas. They have been targeting Aaron Chiki from the get-go. They don't want this Herod to bully the Claude, because why? Because the Claude apparently is a weak side gold laner, but in this scenario, they want to make it a strong side because they kept on ganking that lane. They kept on funneling the gold towards Eman, and Eman, it didn't feel like it was a hard Claude game. He wasn't even bullied that much. Aaron Chiki even got picked up like 2 times, even 3 times with the Blazing Duet, and they had so much peel tools to really keep Eman alive.
And I think when he chooses Flicker as the battle spell, it's a smart move because he knows that a lot of dash abilities heroes on the TLID, so that's why he needs the Flicker to chase them down if they try to run away.
Wow, wow, wow. I mean, it's all perfect. Look, Super Luke. This is what he wants. This is what he wants. A Raging Sandstorm into 3 players as the first layer of CC. The second one comes in. That is key. That is El Momento with the Implosion. This is what Bigetron Alpha is lacking. That layer of control, that layer of initiation, that they were forcing Super Luke to play Hylox. That's not a typical Super Luke hero. This is what happens when you give him the Khalid. And this is the trend that they're supposed to continue into game number 4.
Yeah, they finally found their footing here in game number 3. And, you know, recalling back to yesterday in their match against Alter Ego, one of the keys to victory for Bigetron was to make sure that momentum role falls on to both Key as well as Luke. So it was actually great that you mentioned it even for the drafts, because they were able to... Were they listening to? I don't know. Seems like, you know, they heard Realize, and they realized that, like, yeah, hey, Hylos isn't working out for them.
I called Wura. I told him, don't make Mirko sad. Give him 1 game. Give him 1.
Okay,
Just give him a little bit smile.
tiny bit of hope, that's fine. I'll work with that. But 10 minutes. 10 minutes and 6
That's
seconds.
one-sided.
Destruction.
It was a snowball from Bigetron Alpha.
Total annihilation, I think.
So, we gotta talk about this again, right? Team Liquid, most of their success didn't really know how to adapt in the game.
Look at that, the damage to turret. It's clean.
It's very
Wow.
It's untouched.
0 objectives.
Yeah, and this is also, like, it adds even more salt to the wound because, like, Fabian is in his comfort hero, he's using the Nolan, but the problem with Team Liquid ID is that they are so reliant on the early game. And I feel like Bigetron Alpha are able to crack that code because they have been so vexatious, they have been so annoying since the early game. They know that they have to outpace Team Liquid ID in the early game, and that's what they did. They kept on ganking towards Iron Chiki, they kept on trying to contest the objectives, and it worked. It worked when you can take over the early game. Team Liquid ID, they were left speechless.
Because essentially their draft couldn't really hold them over into the late game either, right? I mean, technically they had the Vexana, but a Vexana alone, I think
It's
it
not
will
enough.
struggle.
Yeah.
It will struggle, and the tempo from Bigetron Alpha is too high.
Yeah, very high.
That's why it's very hard for Vexana even like wait for a perfect momentum to use the Eternal's Guard. That's why when the Ammons comes with the Battle Mirror image, the Blazing Duet, even with the Winter Crown, it's a total disaster for Vexana.
Yeah.
Extremely, extremely. So do you think that TLID now would want to opt for red side this time?
Well, they could if they wanted to, but I don't really see where, you know, sacrificing boost would be a problem for them. I mean, they don't really have a prio pick they want to pick up, right? Maybe it's only the Alpha or the Matilda if it's open for Witty, but so far they don't really have that tunnel vision win condition that they want to achieve. So I think red side would still make sense if they don't want to really hurry to try to get their power picks. But yeah, I think red side would be a key for them.
I mean, and technically Alpha, whoever's been picking up the Alpha in this match
Has won.
has
Just
won the
winning
game.
the game.
Yeah.
Maybe
So-
Alpha is the key?
I don't know, how can you force Suyo to be left open? I don't think that's possible either, right?
No.
What's a good matchup against the Alpha?
Suyo is the
Suyo.
best matchup,
Suyo.
actually. Yeah,
Suyo.
but I think
Suyo,
not
yeah.
all of the teams may be feeling confident to facing against Suyo. That's why they always banning Suyo. They don't want to let Suyo lose.
And they know that they can't let, you know, Suyo let go to the hands of fate.
So let's let you guys go to the hands of the host now, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into game number 4. We'll see you after.
Halo yang diete. Restream.
Jenny di Telkomsel.
Silakan. Untuk di booth Telkomsel sendiri, di sini kita ada yang namanya tukar
Restream.
poin Telkomsel. Selain tukar poin Telkomsel juga, kita ada pembelian diamond juga lewat dunia game. Terus di sini juga kita ada
Restream.
kartu juga. Kita ada kartu Telkomsel, ada juga Orbit
Langsung
juga.
saja kita restream
juga kartu
BTR
Halo.
versus
Siapa yang
Liquid
berlangganan,
ID.
silakan.
Gaskan
Selain
di
di
YT
situ
dan
juga,
TikTok Dr.
nanti
MLB.
ada
Gaskan.
lelang untuk baju dari Geekfam. Bentar. Untuk baju Geekfam ini yang udah ditandatangan oleh pro player aslinya. Ada beberapa, itu semuanya kalau nggak salah tuh ya. Nah ini nanti sistemnya lelang. Jadi siapa yang paling banyak itu nanti yang pemenangnya. Kebetulan tadi sudah ada 1 orang ya yang jadi pemenang, itu setiap hari dapat 1.
Setiap hari dapat 1 ya?
Ya, betul.
Dan hari ini berarti udah keluar nih?
Udah keluar 1.
Tadi kan sempat bilang bahwa tahu lagi
Wih,
harus nunggu di hari
ada
Besok.
king
Sambil-
kita.
Sambil ngumpulin untuk poinnya.
Kok sepi Dok, baru
Betul.
mulai.
Itu juga besok juga
Dok,
kalau yang
predik,
berkesempatan boleh
Gua
nanti
baru
ada
mulai,
duel
tadi gua habis
by one
ngajar
dengan pro
terus
player
sama,
Geekfam di sini.
buat
Jadi
konten
ada
satu.
misalnya konsumen yang mau
Kalian pada
beli,
nggak ke Bandung
apa,
guys?
Bisa nanti untuk duel 1 lawan 1 lawan
Bandung
Geekfam.
gede banget ya, gue lihat ya. Berapa orang sih emangnya? Radit, suaranya nggak masuk banget, Dit. Bang Radit, King Radit.
Mungkin ada lagi nggak sih promo-promo yang cuma bisa didapetin di booth Telkomsel ini?
Oke, untuk yang di Telkomsel sendiri kita ada promo itu ada kartu Bayu Telkomsel. Itu
Guys, kalian
promonya
dukung
itu
siapa
di
nih? 1 poin
7
lagi
giga,
ikut
20.000.
menang nih. Kalian
Ya,
dukung
dan itu
siapa nih?
masa aktifnya itu unlimited, itu nggak ada masa aktifnya. Jadi walaupun
Kalian
tidak
dukung
diisi
siapa, guys?
kuota, tidak diisi pulsa, itu tidak ada masa aktifnya. Seperti itu.
Oke, jadi banyak banget ya booth activity seru yang bisa kalian coba di boothnya Telkomsel khususnya di dunia games. Dan juga tadi sudah kita lihat ya bahwa per hari ada 1 aja jersey dengan tanda tangan khusus dari para pemain di tim Geekfam. Jadi pastiin kalau
Spill
kalian
satu
semua mau
pajangannya,
dapat
Dok.
langsung
Ini
aja
malah jadi spill
kunjungin ya
pajangan
di
nih.
pastinya di MPL Festival di boothnya
Apa, kalian mau spill yang mana?
dan dunia games. Oke, thank you so
emang nggak
much
kelihatan?
karena sudah kita tanya-tanya. Jangan lupa sekali lagi untuk
Emang nggak
datang
kelihatan
ke
nih?
sini.
Coba kalian lihat.
Dan pastinya kita akan melihat game-game yang lebih seru nih Karadit. Jadi kita akan kembalikan lagi ke panelis, silakan.
Gokil nggak sih Sabi setupnya teman-teman? Gue mau spill yang mana? Gue ribet turunin 1 Pak. Nyusunnya lagi ribet lagi.
So for those of you who haven't made it to Eldorado Bandung, please do secure tickets and come over. And if you guys don't have the ability,
Serius
to get
kan
the
mau
tickets,
di-spill
maybe
nih,
it's
ketik
sold
1 deh
out,
kalau
you can actually,
gue bawain
join
1 ke
in
kalian nih.
various
Gue zoom in.
activities outside.
Halo Bang, halo yang di ET.
Even a free watch party that's available that you guys
Kalau kalian
can
mau gue bawain
participate
1
in
nih.
as well.
It was stacked. There's a big screen out there.
Yep.
There's a lot of booth, even the food stall,
Food stall.
drink, and everything. I think
There's Kila
we have
food, man.
everything in here.
Oh, so
Ketik
good.
1 kalau kalian mau
Very sad,
lihat,
to be
gue
honest.
zoom in.
It was a sorrowful
Salah satunya.
experience for me
Oh, what happened?
going to the Fnatic Onyx booth because I went there, right?
Uh-huh.
I bought a jersey right before the Geek.
Thank you yang udah kasih like 1. 1 orang doang nih. Satu orang lagi nih.
So
You are the curse?
1 orang
I
doang
don't know, man.
satunya.
Donnie also bought it, and Fnatic Onyx went home.
Oh
So
yeah, yesterday Gunny is using Fnatic Onyx jersey.
yeah.
Yeah, because he told me he left his other jersey in Jakarta.
Oke, jadi 2,
He
jadi 2,
wanted to wear
jadi
jersey to
2.
watch, and then he bought a
Oke.
jersey and then...
Oke.
So Sonic, you
Hey,
know what to do.
I mean, it means that you guys are showing
Oke,
full
oke.
support.
Gua bawain
You're not
satu.
karbitan. What's karbitan in English? Like
Like a plastic fan.
a plastic fan. You're not a plastic fan.
I
That's
ain't no
good.
plastic fan. But I'm a fan of good games in MPL ID though, so it's still good.
And we're getting it here. Still at match point, ladies and gentlemen. TLID
Nih.
still at 2 games, but Bigatron did come back with that final game. Maybe even pushing it to their own match point. We might see a game number 5.
Yeah.
We
And
might.
Sore masuk, Pak.
with the game number 4, we see that all of the Assassins player are losing the game.
Nih.
Or
Teori
Yeah,
kocak.
obvious.
Teori apa sih? Teori kocak,
Could
teori
be.
kocak.
Could
By
be
the way
the
tadi
case.
ada murid
Not
gua,
really
guys.
end, but
Pas lagi
Assassin
apa
would
penutupan
probably, like,
ini,
only
pas
hire,
lagi pengiklan
like,
itu
yeah, maybe only Fanny. Fanny
si
is like
Idris.
The most priority one.
The highest prio, because there's like no natural counter to a Fanny. Maybe a Kaja, a Franco, but again, it's just so hard. We don't really want to talk about Fanny because I don't think it'll even show up in MPLID playoffs. And even if it does, it will just wreck around.
Ini menurut gua bagus sih.
Yeah.
Dia simple,
Open it up.
terus juga
Open Fanny up.
apa ya?
Please do.
Give
Menurut
it to
gua
Fave. Alright.
karakteristik G5-nya dapat banget model ininya.
But let's ask the audience now.
Autentik
what
banget
do you
dah.
think? How can TLID
Jadi,
close the match
ini bagus
in
banget,
game
guys.
number
Harganya
4
pun juga
to
terjangkau
advance
banget
to
ini.
the upper bracket finals?
Cuman,
The answer is 47%
90 ribuan aja.
Out-aggressive.
Di keranjang kuning
What
nanti
does
gua
that
kasih
mean?
lihat.
Out-aggressive.
Gokil ya.
Out-aggressive. Over-aggressive, is that?
Dok, ada di YT nggak? Ada
I think
YT
it's
gue
supposed to
dokter
be
MPB,
over-aggressive,
mampirin aja.
Or is the acronym
Sabar,
like
gue taruh lagi ya.
like passive?
Dan nih.
In-aggressive, out-aggressive.
Because I think it's hard for Team Liquid ID to play a very aggressive game on the third game.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of CC that can fighting them back if they want to initiate.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, they weren't really aggressive per se.
Oh. Do they mean don't be out-aggressed?
Out-aggressed?
Dah. Kita mulai lagi
were
predik-prediknya
able-
Pak.
They were able to
Predik-prediknya
play
mulai lagi.
more aggressive.
That's true. That might be the case as well. But
Maybe.
Kita mau prediksi nggak nih?
if we take a look at what happened in game
Kalau
number
mau
3, I
prediksi,
do
kita
think
pakai
that makes
topeng,
sense
Pak.
because Bigatron Alpha, they were very aggressive. Starting from the early
Mode
game,
predik
they were
dulu, Pak.
ganking down bottom, shutting down Aaron,
Mode
not
predik
giving
dulu.
him the time to play. So yeah, maybe when it is the case, especially when Faven was in the Nolan, maybe they could have looked for
Mode
a
predik
play,
dulu ya,
especially
mode
when you
predik
have
dulu,
Matilda.
mode predik dulu,
It's very
mode predik
easy for you
dulu.
to play in and out as a Nolan. You can burst in, burst out. You have the guy
Mode
who
predik
can
nih.
go back. So yeah,
Kita
maybe
kasih
don't
mode
get
predik.
out-aggressed by Bigatron Alpha.
So the mirror plays
Semoga
They
benar
need
semua
to run.
teman-teman.
Yeah,
when they go for that.
it's almost like Suyo against Nolan. Always mention it, right?
Yeah, because
Nah, kita pakai mode
game.
bejonka
Where you
dulu,
need
Pak.
to like facing each other every
Yeah.
time they.
Kita mode
the
predik
spec
dulu,
move.
teman-teman.
You still have a lot of objective.
Mode predik
Like
draft
trying
dulu.
to do the mirroring or trying to steal the opponent's
Mode
objective.
predik, mode
There's a
predik.
lot of things to
Kita
do,
mode
but
predik
yeah,
draft.
during in
Apakah
game,
gue
I think,
bisa
the players,
mempredik banyak
POV is
hero
different with
yang
us.
akan muncul
I mean, to
di
be
draft
honest,
ini, guys?
the TLID that
Draftnya
I
unik
watched
lagi
in the
masalahnya.
regular season
Ya,
was not the TLID I saw in that game.
intinya simple, teman-teman.
Because
Kalau
the
Soyu nggak
TLID
di-ban,
are
biasa
on
Soyunya
the back
first pick.
foot. They know
Setelah
exactly
Soyu
what
pasti
the
selalu
are. So
high
at that
shift.
moment, they should have known that Bigatron had the better
Selalu
advantage
begitu,
on the
teman-teman.
objectives.
But by the data,
Rumusnya akan begitu terus.
I'm not
Ya,
wrong.
kalau Soyunya nggak di-ban, pasti Soyunya di-pick.
They lose on the early
Udah
game,
gitu
they lose
aja.
game.
Kalau Soyunya udah di-pick, pasti kanannya pick Hylos. If.
They're able to
Kalau nggak
mirror
Pove,
movements.
if.
They don't walk into the tempo of whoever they're playing against. They know their winning conditions. They know their strengths.
Kalau
and
nggak
they play
Soyu,
towards
kadang
that.
Zuxin juga,
Here,
teman-teman.
I didn't see that at all. I
Karena
saw
Zuxin emang
Faven
bagus deh, gue bilang kan.
falling into the pattern that Bigatron
jadi kita
had
lihat
set.
nih.
So let's see if anything changes because all of that it really starts with the drafts, right? So this
Paling
is
kayak
drafting phases and
Zuxin,
number 3
Matilda,
versus
Alpha,
Galaxy
Soyu,
F4
gitu-gitu
FE.
lah paling hero-nya.
Okay, there are a lot of changes here. Still the same bans except for the Eve ban in the first phase. The Jushin gets picked
Kan?
up by TLID. But Bigatron
Bener kan?
is given.
Paling hero-heronya kayak gitu-gitu lagi, Pak.
Alpha. What do we think about
Nih.
this?
Kalau Soyu, terus awalnya Matilda Alpha, Pove masih kebuka nggak nih? Pove masih kebuka deh. Udah peluang tingginya Pove nih, Pak. Kalau nggak Pove, Hylos sama Zuxin. Coba kita lihat dulu ya, cara mainnya gimana.
No one still can work, but
Nathan juga nih, Nathan lagi mahal-mahalnya.
for Super Loop.
Ya,
So
Nathan
maybe
lagi
with
mahal-mahalnya
Nolan
nih.
right now, like,
Soalnya kemarin Gig sudah menunjukkan kan power yang Nathan.
second pick
Pasti
phase.
Nathan
That could work.
bakal lebih sering diambil.
Still on the cards, but oh,
Wih, cow Nathan loh, bro.
Nathan in the second
Ya udah kalau gitu Pove
Nathan
di react ya.
pick,
Yeah.
and Cho as well.
Enak buat
This
landing
Joe
kalau
can
misalnya
go to the
cownya
back line,
XP.
and Nathan can, like,
Terus juga buat loncat-loncat ke
having his
Zuxin sama
comfortable
Nathan.
positioning if
Nah.
we have Joe as the bodyguard
Oke,
of
udah ada
Jushin
Matilda
and
Pove combo,
Matilda,
Alpha juga udah bagus
Alpha.
nih.
Yeah, the
Terus
versatility
juga Hylosnya, oh
of the
Hylosnya udah
show
di-ban loh.
was what allowed
Hylosnya
them to
di-ban.
kinda deny the pick coming in from
Kiri
here.
nge-ban apa ya?
We saw the implosions not landing. We saw
Gold
the
lane-nya
cover that Widi
yang
was
belum.
able to,
Herit
utilize
kah?
and the moments honestly that Widi was also
Bisa
able to
Herit, bisa
create.
Beatrix.
So they have that playmaking tool, but again, with
Bisa
all
Herit,
this
bisa
on the
Beatrix.
board, I think
Herit
again,
sih tapi.
mid prio is so important. Sure, they
Kita
have to
lihat.
throw in the Jushin now, but they need a
Kita lihat
good
ya, kita
jungler
lihat.
as well
Kita lihat.
to facilitate
Erit.
this. Considering that Bigatron have both the
Nah, kan?
Matilda and the Alpha. As we take a look at this cross-region data, please.
Yep. So throughout the MPLPHS season
Nanti
4
kanan nggak beda lagi nih.
Zusin has
Edit kah?
100% pick and ban
Ini sama nggak sih kayak kemarin,
11 picks
teman-teman?
and a 54.55% win rate. So yeah, it shows to you how busted Zusin is right now because with the
Ben edit kah?
with the changes, the mini adjustment that she
Kalau nggak edit paling ini.
you basically have one mana in return when you spam the line.
Apa ya, mid udah.
Enemies when you can lift them up.
Jungler,
That
paling
mana
jungler.
restoration still happens to you, and you have a lot of ways to approach this build. You know, you can go to Sky Piercer to get that burst damage going through. So
Apa jungler assassin-nya ya?
there's a reason why Zeus
Tapi
is
kalau gue
either
feelingnya
picked
edit
or
sih.
banned.
Especially there's a lot of frontline
Wah,
heroes
Xbox lu.
on this meta.
Oh berarti kanan si Wura nggak mau pakai
Yes.
Xbox.
Using the
Mati
basic
loh,
command
Pak.
emblem, the Clock of Destiny.
Oke,
So,
miss dikit gue ternyata, Pak.
Zusin can like airboning the enemies
Yeah.
3 times maximum during the team fight.
Cho,
It's really
Nathan,
important,
Zuxin,
really annoying.
Aurora sabi sih.
But now,
Zuxin,
no
Aurora
export
ngerepotin
or
juga sih.
TLID
Cho juga
because,
bisa
yeah,
mati
Abuse
langka
and
sih.
Alpha Nightmare is export.
Cakep,
You wanna stop
cakep, bagus.
TLID to
Parami
get
soalnya
the-
masih bisa
get
dilawan
the
pakai
export,
Nathan,
because
Pak.
Export does very well against HP-based heroes. Now the Phobias are among them, so they ban out the export, and now Bigatron Alpha, they are looking for a mid laner, and they're going
Kalau
to
God
no
nya
longer
pengen
first
menangin
pick,
early,
like they did
bisa
first,
Roger, bisa
and I
Lunox.
think that opens up new horizons for them.
Tapi kalau buat
What's left for them?
perangin balance fight-nya ya
Yes, available,
paling
and
bisa
it's gonna be very good.
oke,
Go for the
bisa.
Lunox.
Baru gue bilang bisa
For
Beatrix.
Emon.
Lunox
Still
ternyata.
supposed to be.
It's still able to be flexed.
It could be Moreno too,
It could
honestly.
be Moreno, yeah, because
It depends on the last 2
Lunox,
heroes, but I
Pove,
prefer to
Mateo,
use it on
Alpha.
Emon's side because against Nathan it can have on par match up on the gold lane, and if he's using on the mid lane, I think it's lack of the mobility, but they have Matilda
Berarti dia
can
kurang
help Lunox to do the rotation.
yeah.
You know, with the Aurora ban, is this setting up for either an assassin or something like Bane maybe?
ini si Wuranya bisa Lunox God sama mid loh. Kurang God dan mid lagi anjir dibikin pusing, Pak.
Around the Land of Dawn when the Aurora is banned out, so
Wah, ini draftnya susah, Pak. Gue skip dulu ya.
and they will go for the Akai and
Susah.
the Bane.
There you
Yes,
go.
Susah, Pak.
you called it, Eterna. They go for the
Apa?
Bane.
Kalau mid
Yes.
Bane.
oke,
And
clean.
Oh, there you go. That's a Lunox in the mid lane.
Wow.
from
Pak,
Moreno.
ini Cistrat, Pak.
Okay.
Eterna is the apprentice.
Susah, susah. Ini nggak gampang kalau itu terakhir.
It's my team, man.
At least
I love
gue ada
Lunox.
benernya
I
banyak,
love
Pak, di
TLID.
awal. Udah, ya.
We go
Cukup,
down, we
cukup,
go down
cukup.
together.
Let's go kita.
Pick up for the
Pengap,
Clips.
Pak, pakai ini
Really
masker.
batter
Cukup,
to the
cukup,
front line of
cukup.
Team Liquid ID, and Bigatron Alpha, they have enough front
Bejir
line
disuruh
to cover
nebak
up for this
hero
clip.
Lunox setelah itu
But against
clean
Natan,
atau midnya
Natan
apa, Pak? Bisa
will be
bisa
good.
Lunox God
That's
juga
why.
soalnya.
Because of the range.
It's a good lane.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so I want to test is like I'm cursing the teams for today. So I'm
Draftnya
gonna
megang
choose
mana nih?
Bigatron to win this game.
Okay,
Kan
interesting.
draftnya megang mana, teman-teman?
What
Draftnya
about you?
megang
I
mana?
don't feel so good at Eterna. I
You don't?
do think-
Draftnya
I do
megang
think
mana?
the reverse
Kalian
sweep
megang mana
is
draftnya?
imminent.
Okay,
Coba
2-0
tulis komen di bawah guys,
from
draftnya
the
megang mana nih?
panelists.
Halo Bang, halo.
Casters, help us out. Again, we're
Ichia
back
bakal
at
muncul
match
nggak
point.
sih? Tidak, sepertinya. Tap, like, share, teman-teman.
Bigatron Alpha, but they're gonna love themselves, TLID, because they brought something special here, Rashi, for game number 4 of TLID versus BTR.
Land of Dawn, here we go. I
Liquid,
mean, if you
okay.
expect Bigatron Alpha not working hard, yeah, right. Picture that with a Kodak, man.
Or better yet, make them prove it to us, right? Get a 2-2, take a picture of that with a Kodak. But hey, let's see, man. We'll see if they can turn their negative into a positive. You know, they should want us to know that. But we saw earlier, right? What could possibly be in the hands of Team Liquid ID? You need a front line. to
Dua-dua
control this
prediksi
vulnerable
gua, Dok.
backline members.
Oke,
I was
thank you
thinking that,
prediknya.
okay, the Bane, we kind of predicted, but the Akai came out of nowhere, man. We thought the Edith might be a solution.
Weh.
But I guess it's the Akai is a lot
Weh, jatuh
safer.
begindang,
But
Pak.
with the Matilda, man, there's a lot of ways for Bigatron Alpha to really burn out a lot of those early game, a lot of those safety
Bikin
tools
kaget aja.
from the side of Team Liquid ID. Looking at the emblems here, Assassin emblem for the Clint, along with the tenacity. Look at Moreno.
That's a knockup.
3-1, oke.
Will fly with the guiding wind to safety.
Man, I'm worried about Bigotron Alpha right now.
Kabar ya, gue share
First of all,
ini
it's
dulu.
Natan, and we saw how
Share
what
link
Natan
dulu.
can do against a team that doesn't really have a lot of sieging potential, Rashi.
Exactly, and there's not a lot of seeking potential at all for Bigotron. Maybe just a Clint, but the foot is now on the other shoe though, because you can see the mid lane very difficult when the Sushin is in the picture. Even with the Mathilda, you're gonna be forced to kind of assist your mid laner, not to do anything crazy, just to get them out of the Lantern Flare using the Guiding Wind. And when it comes to frontline, later on, maybe the Alpha and the Phobias can be a terrifying prospect, but for now, in this early game, it's gonna be the Mathilda. So Team Liquid ID have a lot more freedom of movement, and let's look at the neutral objective contest. In theory, they should have a lot more pressure.
That's Moreno, chunked alongside Iran. He needs to be careful, heavy spin is available though. Now let's see Witty pass to
Biar mah ada Matilda Pove. Sabar, lu mau nanya apa pada teman-teman?
Finds a two-man Jet Kundo and will dash away. Never mind.
Nggak harus ngeliatnya dari situ.
For blood, 1-for-1, but the turtle goes to the
Nggak
side
harus
of
ngeliatnya
Team
apa-apa
ID.
dari Matilda Pove pasti menang gitu-gitu. Kita lihat dulu komponen secara keseluruhannya, Pak. Mati nggak sih? Hampir aja solo. Gelo, Luke. Kelas banget itu.
Good back and forth here from both teams. And again,
Nggak
the
gini.
farming game is where it's at for the jungle.
Kalau early-nya megang, Nathan tuh mati. Tapi kalau mid-game-nya bisa ditahan, Nathannya main. Begitu aja.
The deadly catch will not help him and he will go down.
Something to worry about as well.
Aaron Siki.
Fabian
Lihat Siki.
doesn't really seem like a Fabian hero, and also there is no Weedy.
Thank you teman-teman yang udah nonton.
At this point,
it's gonna be the Cho though, so again, it's about the aggression. It's about kind of balancing it out. Now Witty is the one that has to kind of make the big moves happen. Fabian, it's all about playing it slow, playing it front to back. And we've seen him play flexible, but I don't know if we've seen him play this flexible at this point. But what's surprising to me is in that EXP lane, the Akai is doing surprisingly well, dude. The max HP damage built into his kit is actually giving the Phobias a run for his money.
Yeah, never underestimate the early game damage of Akai. He's gonna run you down with the basic attacks, one the passive frogs. And right now in the gold lane, Arashi, it goes as we expected. It's a clinic as a ton.
The bright side, though, for Team Liquid ID is that Iron Shaky can kind of make this a non-lane. Just clear the waves again and again when there is backup available and back out. Bigotron Alpha are the ones who have to try and find some way to really leverage this Clint pressure. Because the Clint,
Matilda, Pove,
big
Alpha,
strong side of
Lunas.
the Clint is that laning pressure, but now it's not laning, it's not
Susah nih buat
Can Team
Liquid.
Liquid ID find yet
Kanan yang
another
harus megangnya
beneficial
si
great
Turtle.
moment?
For now, Bigotron have more bodies are on looking for that
Gila.
heavy spin.
Gila, lo lihat tuh. Lo lihat Luke megang Fabiannya kayak gimana. Bejir bisa gitu.
Will not make him survive. He falls, but Fabian secures super.
Oh, Mahal.
Come on, finds the double with the cleanse, looking for the triple.
Mahal loh.
Finds it, but he will fall.
Wah, bahaya ini.
Shutdown.
Mahal, bro. Tapi Siki dapat bawah. Tapi Siki ngepet bawah. Banyak. Tapi mahal untungan BTR itu.
4-1 Clint, that is a dangerous hero in the hands of Eman. Again, Bet is going to try and leverage that somehow. You're seeing Team Liquid ID still losing out in the pressure just because of all these fighters, but that won't last for long, right? The tankier Witty and Aran get, the more damage Aaron, Yehezkiel, and Fabian get, the less they can kind of do
Mahal, bro.
this
Mahal.
brute
Mahal
force
itu.
forward maneuvers Bigotron Alpha.
Mau ngapain nih? Fabian.
Actually bought him time and he will survive. On the other side.
Tiba-tiba other side ke pick off begindang, Pak. Hancur dong bawah. Tinggal didorong sama si Aaron Siki terus main ke tengah.
Look at that though. Aran just, shows out for a little bit, pressuring Bigotron to allow
Langsung tengah nggak sih,
to
Siki?
stick around and actually
Kedorong.
wave. It's moments like that that really doesn't get overshadowed by the big fights. But yes, deadly catch to cancel out the guiding
masih
wind.
mau laning lagi.
Tower taken on the bottom side. Team Liquid, this is looking like their characteristic somehow comeback nature in the mid lane, in the mid game, sorry.
Bigotron Alpha also has a pretty characteristic as well in this Mathilda, man. If I remember correctly, I believe that right now he has a 100% on a Mathilda throughout the regular season. Let's see if the cavalry can actually break that in the playoffs.
tall order for sure, but look at this. Oh, conceal already used up.
Setengah map bawah lagi. Ini mau megang Queen terus nih. Oke. Tapi bawahnya lihat nih, lihat bawahnya. Mereka mau megang bawah nih. Ditahan, mereka ditahan gerakannya. Bawahnya mau didorong. Nah, lihat. Di zoning. Nah, cara mainnya tuh gitu, teman-teman. Lihat gak? Lihat gak? Kalian lihat gak?
Being the main agenda, Amon finds the pressure.
Tadi kan bawahnya ngedorong.
Still catching strays
Kan tadi
after
ngedorong tuh.
minute 4.
Good
Kan
tracer
tadi
for
ngedorong
both
gini.
teams, but
Itu
Willie, man, he heard us talking.
tadi
He's
Luke
like,
dan
oh, he's not gonna do
siapa ya tadi
flashy.
ya? Luke
I'll show
pokoknya
you
intinya sama
flashy.
satu orang lagi.
Immediately
Itu
goes
nahan
for
di
those
sini.
pickouts.
Jadi
He
mereka
needs to
nggak bisa
step up
bantu
and
bawah,
make the
bawahnya
engages happen.
menang
Because
juga
Aran
dimakan.
and Fabian,
Mainnya kayak gitu,
they can
tapi
really do
bagus
that,
tuh itu.
right? They are just all locked in to playing it defensive.
Biar kalian tuh main juga terstruktur gitu.
Ooh, almost a deja vu there if he got spotted out. But Vivian, he was looking quite beefy with the HP bar, man. So I think right now, he's much more tankier, he's much more safer at this point.
Itu menit berapa ya tadi ya?
Skill though, no purify just walks up.
Jawab bang, gue mau nanya kalau Hero XP enak untuk meta sekarang apa bang? Itu lah, Pove gitu-gitu,
Once again,
Pove
they're doing a
Highland
great job
edit.
mitigating Big Chen
Sama,
Alpha's
bro.
engage potential. In theory,
Itu menit
Big
berapa
Chen
tadi
are the
guys?
ones who have the
Boleh
chase,
bantu
who have
catat
the
gak?
early game
Menit berapa?
burst here with the Clint, with the Alpha, but they're really not getting a lot of value from those picks
Menit
just
berapa ya
yet.
tadi ya? Ada yang notice gak menit berapa?
Equalize the
Menit 6 ya?
turrets. Really, he's already scouted the situation meanwhile around.
Iran distracting, providing an info, but he has skill in the mid lane. Is actually vulnerable. Good knock up as Aaron Cheeky collects the inner. Fabian with the conceal of Witty, looking to find one member, but Iran is still too tanky. Super loop, escape! Oh my goodness! Finds a three-man heavy spin, and that's the collapse that TLID needed. 2 members taken down.
Prince Aran caught the biggest Alpha members caught off guard there. 3-man pinned down in the mid lane. A place that you never see Akai use usually.
Usually you see the Fabian pop off. We saw Aaron pop off. When they're both pressured, Aran steps up to the plate. The playmaker himself, again and again, he has been overshadowed in this match. But right there, he shows why he is one of the best. Why he is nominated for one of the best EXP laners in Indonesia. With the Lord coming up soon, after a play just like that, Big Chen Alpha, they have to be so concerned, so wary of a potential engage again.
That's a foundation for that mid game now with
Okay.
the Dragon spent already. Witty
Oke.
will fall. Retribution goes to
Wah,
Fabian.
udah.
Won't be done. Yes,
Wah, gamenya liquid nih.
isolated top side. Will Bigatron punish it?
Aran Pape.
Will
Gamenya liquid nih kayaknya.
And that's CLID. Finds the heavy spin onto it. Super loop. But he survives. 2-4-0. But the Lord goes
Bang
to
jawab
have
bang,
the
apa
cavalry.
jawab apa cuy? Udah gue jawab bro.
Bigatron there to get something at least, not making it a overall win. Even the mid tower actually able to be saved. That damage from the Bane though is ramping up. Aaron! Oof. Fabian secures that purple buff in the midst of that chaos. And they are all gonna be up.
Game liquid ini udah.
Defense. Watch that wishing lantern.
Gamenya liquid nih sekarang nih.
Percentage max HP damage for Moreno.
Gak main keluar,
Which means
ada
that
Nathan.
Ron and Fabian and Witty technically are
Akai
a lot more
nebein,
vulnerable.
Zuxin juga
So,
play.
with Eman scaling to the late game as well, Team Liquid has to be a bit careful.
They're on the offense now. Mid turret falls. Bigatron Alpha.
Oh!
Positioning. That's the crab claw cannon right there, baby. Bigatron Alpha. Again.
Lihat siapa yang nangkep ya.
looking to find a better position.
Fokus, bentar lagi nih, lihat nih.
They can't.
Fokus ke Widya atau Aran guys.
Annoying, man. And the range on this play
Ada
is
flicker
just
kan dua-duanya.
insanity right now. They might pull the trigger here.
Let's see. Witty will look for the initiation play. Lovely catch to chunk the base turret, but it seems like the First Lord will not do his job. Base turret still stands.
Step by step, brick by brick.
Gila, mainnya pelan-pelan banget ya, step by step ya.
Ooh, look at that. That's
Shieldnya
by the way the
mau
rope
dipecahin sekarang,
Oh,
pakai
man.
minion.
What the shield too? These bounces, man. Bigatron Alpha has to be a bit careful about
Oke,
this.
shield hancur.
Man, Team Liquid, it's only the First Lord, so not taking a base turret. At this point, it's kind of understandable. Look at the damage dealt, it's actually quite equal. Eman, the issue right here is if he can actually, do more damage than Aaron Shiki, then there's no way for Team Liquid to get to him either. But they don't have to do that, right? With the Natan, this is why the Natan pick is just so valuable. And just playing it the slow game.
mean, at this point, they want to pull the trigger to get an Alpha, but no, they're gonna back up with the guiding wind. And to be honest, like they can force out as long as the minion goes into the, the vicinity, the aggro of the tower. They can force out a turret with a heavy spin from Aran. There might be something that Big Alpha is, should be wary of at this point.
Might be a bit too risky for Team Liquid ID's likes though. But look at that info gathering, man. The Lantern Flare quite literally illuminating the rest of the jungle. But Yeskiel, again, no Purify. Playing a hero that's kind of squishy, punishable by all means. Has to be a bit careful. Looking at the rest of the items though, that's a quad armor for Witty. So if Bigatron are relying on a massive spike in damage, a big
Bang, counter Popheus apa Anda?
That damage now is going to be mitigated. So Witty is going to be a bit more.
Counter Popheus itu bisa, ya nggak harus pakai hero-nya sih. Anda gue bilang kayak berkali-kali bisa pakai timpan, lo hantam pakai cici juga bisa. Banyak pak.
Formation of TLID in this lore taker on, and Yeskiel being in the front lines, Witty in the angles. Lore taken by Fabian, but be careful, Ron, very low.
Tarik, gak bisa, perangin Zack.
Finding the kill. Now Super Luke looking for more. Witty is trying to get away. Yeskiel in an awkward angle.
Nice banget Witty.
Wow! Dragon, but Moreno secures one.
Okay. Moreno, okay.
Moreno DD finds two, but Fabian finds the trade. All in all, that might be a winning trade for Victor.
Sabar, Fabian. Sabar. Jangan ditemenin aja wardnya. Ditemenin. Santai dikit. Santai dikit, Pak.
On the map, they won't be able to clear it without contest. They got the advantage there, but man, Team Liquid ID were taking that fight spread apart, not together. In the next fight with the Lord, this is gonna be a 5v5 front to back, just the way Team Liquid ID wants it.
Everyone is catching up. Yeskiel and Witty is already charging towards the bottom lane, looking to further enhance the sieging potential of TLID. The cavalry is trying to run through the robots.
Let's see, get the catch early again to chip the turret.
Okay.
Bigatron Alpha will now be
Buka
able to
ban.
base
Hancur, oke, nyapu.
clear the top side.
Ketaret, fokus taret.
But it's just
Fokus
still
taret.
TLID controlling most of the game.
Yeah, the good thing though, Rashi, look at the Lord's position.
On lane. Yeah, the other side of the map from where the base turret was taken for Team Liquid ID. Moreno, though, showing again that the late game, even though, the Clint scales well to the late game too, by the way. Just a bit more burst heavy.
Berarti harus main 3-2 nih.
The Lunox as well, if they can't really deal with the dive potential, they can't really get
Nathan yang manjangin.
Aaron Shiki and Fabian away from
Emang
the
kenapa
damage.
selalu gak pakai skin ya?
Being quite dangerous.
Pusing kali kalau dia pakai skin.
But with 60 seconds on the clock here, Team Liquid ID plays the patient game. They set up a net here just to spot out the members of Bigatron if they do make a, surprising, pesky maneuver. But aside from that, they're not even showing on the map. They're kind of pressuring Bigatron to stay in their base by not showing, by just standing there. And that was a sticker by Fabian.
Oh, interesting. I forgot we have stickers. But right now in MPL Indonesia, friendly day 2. Right now, 4K gold lead, even though in the kill department, 9-11, only 2 kills is the differential of both teams. And BTR actually leading on that, so it's quite interesting to see that TLID is up by this much. The economy is favoring them by a lot.
Looking at the farming game here in the player head-to-head, Fabian definitely doing a lot better. And this is the late game where the Bane damage really can't be ignored. For the side of Team Liquid ID, they're also going for last game because Aaron Shiki isn't going for any kind of
supaya
just the
ada kontes
for an extra bit of damage along with the survivability. And now it's the neutral objective game where Team Liquid ID has an abundance of an advantage.
Seems like Bigatron Alpha, they're trying to contest this lore, but Ron says no with the heavy spin.
Tarik mundur, gak bisa, kejar lagi.
Round 2 again, Fabian now being the target. Oh, isolated! Winner crown just a base.
Sikinya masih aman, Sikinya masih main. Wah, udah. Perang nih, menang nih. Menang ini tadi. Lihat Sikinya. Menang dah. Masih lanjut gak? Aduh. Gak nyangka dia gak expect kayaknya nungguin ya.
not over just yet. The base though, Fabian recalling.
Seems like TLID, they want more.
Dikit lagi. Wah, selesai nggak sih ini?
Being the game changer, but that's the deadly catch.
Tengahnya mau ditembusin? Mau coba cicil? Bisa ini. Last wave ini. Perang lagi nyawa segitu.
They're very low. Fabian being such a constant nuisance.
Nggak bisa. Jadi nggak bisa. Terlalu kuat. Nah, reset. Pelan-pelan dulu manis. Apakah 3-1? Bisa ini 3-1 nih.
My goodness, we have ourselves a game at the 70th minute mark.
Bisa 3-1 ini.
Man, too aggressive for his own good. Going for the play there, seeing the flow of the fight favor Team Liquid ID, but Bigatron and Alpha find moments of their own. If those waves though on the bottom side was slightly more in favor of Team Liquid, that could have been the end of the game. Team Liquid ID were able to delay for so long. Now it's back to the default, and again, I think it really favors
Prediksi juara
Team
MPL.
Liquid here.
Bisa hierarki guys, tapi kalau Geek yang benar-benar menang sih gua nggak expect, Pak. Pantas juga sih, soalnya mereka konsisten. Yang pasti cincin season ini bukan Onyx yang megang. Bukan Onyx yang megang guys.
Knowing that there is still key there.
Aran as well, by the way. Two components here, Deadon Armor and the Steel Leg Plates, not really combining, I believe, into a single item. So he was kind of going for components just to get the extra benefit, right? For the Deadon Armor, the lack of the reduction in damage coming in from abilities. That works for Eman as well, by the way, because the Clint isn't really a base attack-based type of marksman. So you're seeing creative itemizations coming in from both parties. But once more, for Bigatron, they have to look for one single moment and
nanti
ID.
Yang match 5 nanti gue bahas ya.
There's so many more ways for them to recover from a bad situation. 10 seconds till the next Lord, and the waves technically can be.
Yang match 5 gue bahas nanti guys. Ini harusnya Liquid lagi yang megang sih sebenarnya. Secara perang. Oh, dibalikin. Gimana tuh Siki? Siki masih aman? Siki masih aman? Sabar, sabar Siki. Tenang dulu Siki.
No, yes, kill. You don't want to pull the trigger just now. This is the question for Nakai EXP composition. Once the heavy spin is gone, your window is literally closed.
And they use both of their tools to go aggressively there. Nothing's left to try and.
Bang, menurut Indo sekarang lawan PH bisa menang nggak? Kece Gaming. Bang, Hero XP bagus di meta sekarang apa? Nggak lagi. Ya elah, gue baru jawab komen langsung. Dua sama kah? Nggak, masih bisa. Masih ada Aran, masih ada Fabian. Turret masih full juga.
They might be going the whole way. 30 seconds for all the 3 members of TLID.
2v5, the main wave here too, not available. Fabian has some damage, has a lot of utility with a heavy spin. Can they do it? 2v5.
This might be it. Ladies and gentlemen, deadly catch. That's a last
Waduh.
stand. Aran, a winner clown to buy time. Bigatron stands.
Waduh. Sabar dulu nggak sih? Wah, nggak bisa. Nggak nahan. Wah, udah end. Dua sama. Dua sama.
Wow! After all that happened in the first 2 games, what just happened?
Pak, bener-bener Pak, susah diperubah Pak.
Looking like an actual team again.
Bro, BTR tidak mau menjadi BTR yang dulu.
It's in the midst. It's on their way to do it.
They're clutch.
BTR sudah sadar. Kayaknya ini abis buff dia karaokean bareng deh. Kayaknya sih ya sih. Abis karaokean bareng jadi chemistry-nya dapet.
But with the experience that they have, with the composure, are we seeing here the difference in experience? between Bigatron and Team Liquid ID.
Ini baru payoff.
With that comeback, man.
Kesalahan Onyx di match 5 apa? Nanti gue bikinin konten aja by video guys. Bro! Jadi 2 sama begini anjay. Aduh, gue harus jemput di airport dulu lagi. Aduh, nggak bisa nih.
Who will go to top 3 in MPL Indonesia Season 14 playoffs? Is it the Cavalry or Bigatron Alpha?
One more game and we will find out. Is it the Cavalries or is it the Red Robots?
Oh boy.
Aduh.
Again, if there's a difference in mentality here.
Kesalahan Onyx nanti.
Predicting that Team Liquid ID.
Gila sini kalau BTR yang menang sih.
Man.
Gila habis. Konter Nathan untuk yang megangin Popheus, Pak. Yang megangin Popheus ini.
Was looking so good. But again, when you have good burst damage, you can go for moments
tadi
like
kok
this
Sikinya
where you
nggak
can
terlalu
make a
maju
single
bisa sih.
flicker play, secure a kill, and the
Tapi
longer the
posisinya
game
Siki
goes,
udah bagus
it's
banget
just
tuh ini.
dangerous. And Moreno, man, the
yeah.
game sense on this guy, the engage here from the rest of the team as well. Team Liquid ID, they could have played it safe, but perhaps their dominance, their mechanical team fighting prowess has come to haunt them in the back, going for that fight 3v5.
Kok gue feelingnya BTR yang menang ya?
Intelligent draft as well. That Lunox, even I question it. Why did they
Nggak tahu
pick
feeling gue
Lunox
kenapa
as
BTR
such
yang
a
menang ya?
pick? But when you can dive
Menurut
with a
kalian gimana,
flicker,
guys?
with the brilliance, Ruby,
Apakah
Tini, Sal, who's
BTR
gonna stop you? It's a Sushin.
bisa memenangkan
And also an Atan, this might
game
be
ini
the
guys
question or the
dan
answer
menuju
to this Natan
final dari
problem that we have in
MPL ID
Indonesia
season ini.
playoffs so far.
Karena Bro sudah bertanggung jawab dan sudah sudah
For this
ingin
game and for this series.
menebus
Jangan
kesalahannya. Modal comeback itu bagus Pak mainnya. Bukan modal comeback itu. Bagus emang mainnya.
Welcome to playoffs, Eterna. Welcome to playoffs.
It's not a curse.
My team has lower brackets.
That's true. My bad.
Oh. So
My
you're
team-
guessing that
my team has-
gonna lose on the game number 5?
My team has 4 MPLs.
And yet you still couldn't make it to top 4.
My team went to M5.
And yet you still couldn't make it to top 4.
That's true. I raised my case.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Both teams are now at match point. Bigatron Alpha, impeccable gameplay in game number 4 to force a full best of 5 series. You know what? It's okay. I like this. It's competitive. This is what we wanted from last season. And we're seeing that both
ini
of these
kompetitif
teams
sih.
can actually go head to head and
Ini
they're
kompetitif
on
sih.
par.
They are on par. I mean, from the look at the draft,
Ada pada nanya kemarin, Bang Dok emang Kolius jago Inggris ya? Bro, dia kan dulu orang Muntun masa nggak bisa pakai bahasa Inggris? Nanyanya aneh-aneh anjir. Kerja di perusahaan luar masa nggak bisa bahasa Inggris anjay? Bantu 2K. Thank you. Bantu follow-nya teman-teman. Bantu share-share-nya. Izin pamit Bang, oke. Kalau kalian mau nonton streamnya ada di YT gue Dr. Emma Bebe. Kalau kalian mau nonton di streamnya.
If they play on the BO3,
Ya.
they already won.
2-0 already. So let's crown our MVP, ladies
Nah
and
itu
gentlemen.
bener-bener gawe tuh
Presented
pakai
by
laptop,
Official
PC,
Samsung
direkam,
Galaxy S24
di-review.
LE, and it is Moreno.
Bukan
Now,
katanya
in the drafting phase, when we
pas
saw
di
the Lunox being picked up,
stage
even
malah
he
pusing
mentioned
dan gak review.
that Lunox in the mid lane, it's
Kayak
so
siapa
risky.
tuh?
It doesn't work out well. Mention it.
Nah itu gawe itu tadi.
It may work. Let's talk about how and why.
I think how Moreno's play with Lunox, using the flicker, using the
Dan
brilliance of
Matilda
order and the
kayak
chaos.
kayak
It
next
really bring the chaos.
bandnya
Yeah,
mungkin di respect
he
deh.
always aim for Eman.
Bisa tuh, bisa di respect.
The way he plays it is that his targeting is so good. The only reason why this Lunox is picked in the very first place is to become the sole diver towards the Natan, towards Aaron Chiki. Aaron Chiki did not have a very good time.
Thank you yang udah give. Thank you gift-nya.
Well. And plus, there will
Thank
be
you teman-teman
Key who
atas
will fetch
gift-nya.
him with the guiding wind. We talked about this, we argued a little bit with Corleus, is the fact that, yes, they had Matilda, but the Matilda is also required by other heroes that also needs the guiding wind. But the problem with but the case for Moreno is that he has that time where he can burst down Natan, or he can burst down the Iron Chiki, and then he comes out with the guiding wind. So all in all, it's a complete package. Bigetron Alpha, they can burst down the players, they can fight front to back, but they can also dive into the backline. There's Super Loop the Phobius, there is Lunox in the hands of Moreno,
Dok,
and then
siapa yang salah
will be
tadi
the
di
main
Tel ID?
leading player to play that
Bukan
back
salah
position
sih,
because
ada yang momen kemajuan si Aaron Siki. Cuman susah lah Pak, memang perangnya chaos gitu. Udah susah banget buat di posisi maju atau mundur menurut gua. Tadi ada sempat maju tuh di momen berapa? Kalau gua recap balik, nah nanti kita mau replay nih, kita mau lihat. Takutnya kita malah telat, Pak. Ada deh momen dia kemajuan deh. Ada momen bagusnya
But when
juga
a
kok.
guy using the heavy spin, I think Winter Crown always save the day, especially
Momen kemajuannya di
Forward
sini.
burn out a lot of those to key, by the way, the roamer.
Nih tadi ya.
Team look at IDs. Slippery, and with
Fabian finds the trade.
literally illuminating
lupa
the rest of the
gimana
jungle. But yeah, playing a
And penetrate the formation of TLID in this lore taker on.
Sebenarnya udah bagus sih, emang Pove-nya juga masuk terus, Pak.
In the angle, lore taken by Fabian, but be careful, Ron, very low because on Alpha, they move onwards with Super Loop, charging.
Ini juga tiba-tiba.
The
Sekarang megang setup. Ya udah buka. Widi buka. Ketabrak. Damage-nya terlalu jauh.
taken by Fabian.
Gak salah juga sih.
Careful, Ron, very
Setup. Kan dapetin ini kan soalnya.
Witty is trying to get away. Haskell in
Ini juga
awkward
gak ada
angle.
salah. Ini bagus banget. Malah bagus. Kalau ini gak ada salah, paling siapa yang expect anjir tiba-tiba Moreno jadi Lunox
Oh my
DG.
goodness!
and the bring our team look at advantage in the next lane. But it take it. So team look at ID.
Dok, lo satu kelas sama temen gue waktu ngampus di SG. Siapa tuh Berlin? Kasih tau aja namanya.
Damage.
Mana ya? Mana ya?
And now it's the neutral objective game.
Ini disebut dokter MLB punya pengalaman apa aja, cek aja bro. Di itu apa testimoninya kan ada tuh. Pada anda nanya mending anda ngecek. Ada di story ya. Masuk aja.
Alpha. Let's see, will they find round 2 again? Fabian
Iya ada satu momen tadi
now being the
kemajuan deh.
target. Oh, isolated! Winter Crown just
Mana
a
ya?
bait. Is it enough though? Moreno comes in with the order of the brilliance. But now Witty isolates Amon. He goes down. But
Nah ini. Ini kalau tadi dia ngebuka ulti begitu belum tentu beda cerita. Ya nggak, bener kan? Nggak salah sih, soalnya dia mau ngejar ini kan. Tapi ada Ken pak di sini nih ada Ken. Ya namanya lagi adrenalin rush pak, mau gimana? Di sini ada Ken ready buat nungguin dia. Dia juga nggak expect apanya ready ulti kayaknya. Jadi mistake. Sebenarnya mistake apa ya? Mistake kecil sih tapi fatal sih. Soalnya yang harusnya buka tuh udah gimana ngomongnya? Antara Widi tapi Widi juga sekarat. Dan Widi di sini belum siap cover gitu. Di sini Ken balikin. Kalau begini mah enaknya mending reset gak sih? Soalnya momen ini yang jadi momen baliknya gede nih. Tukarnya juga menurut gue pertukarannya juga sama, Pak. Nih, lihat ya. Secara tukar nih. Luke sama Eman. Di sini tukar satu doang secara pertukaran lebih untung malah udah 4 tukar 1 satu tukar 2 tapi ya posisinya nggak bisa pak soalnya Fabian sekarat cowoknya sekarat Natanya pengen ngekill lagi tuh pengen lanjut ngekill Moreno sebenarnya Sebenarnya dia, gue tahu sih dia expect-nya dia habis nge-kill Moreno, si Ken-nya tuh bisa di-handle sama Chow, sama Yeskiel. Ya cuman kan nggak expect tiba-tiba Alpha itu masih penuh bisa ada ultimate ya. Makanya gue bilang kenanya mistake kecil tapi fatal. Setuju nggak? Setuju nggak teman-teman? Ini yang bikin langsung nge-swap gitu pak. Langsung ubah posisi, dituker. Jadi gue nggak bakal, kalau kita nganalisis kita nggak boleh nge-blame tim, nggak boleh nge-blame playernya secara kayak lu kenapa maju, kan harusnya di belakang, nggak boleh kayak gitu juga. Maksudnya itu terlalu template dan terlalu subjek. Jadi kita harus tahu juga mindsetnya dia. Pasti mindsetnya dia mau lanjut nge-kill Moreno karena dia pede juga ya skill sama Widi di belakang. Nah, kalaupun nanti Alpanya maju, itu masih di handle mungkin dia mikir. Atau dia nggak expect juga Alpanya tuh ready ulti kayak gitu. Ya, pilihnya 2 gitu aja, mistake perhitungan dah. Hitungannya mistake besar. Kalau menurut gue kenapa mistake kecil, karena itu mistake yang kita miscalculate tapi fatal hasilnya. Kalau mistake gede itu berarti dia nggak paham makro, dapat gak? Mindset gue sih selalu gitu ya. Kalau mindset gue, kalau dia mistake gede berarti dia nggak ngerti gamenya. Kayak misalnya nih, dia pakai Tlid tiba-tiba nggak rotate ke tengah, itu mistake gede. Berarti dia masih belum tahu nih konsep permainannya tuh gimana. Terus mistake gede itu kalau misalnya, ini logik gua, karena kalau ketika gua ngelatih itu hitungannya mistake gede, karena lu berarti makronya belum bagus. Kayak misalnya Lord di bawah, terus lu masih nggak tahu siapa main 3-2. Kalau udah tahu main 3-2, lu masih nggak tahu timingnya kapan. Terus lu masih stay di lane gini, nah itu mistake gede. Tapi kalau ini mistake-nya mistake kecil, karena miscalculate kenanya. Dia ngerti tapi miscalculate. Nah, jadi mungkin bisa dibenahi dengan cara ya lu harusnya lebih sabar gitu. Sebenarnya bukan problem yang kompleks kan, ya nggak? Hoax, dokter kapan gua Kingdom anjay? Yang Kingdom samping sebelah, bukan sini. Sehat-sehat dah anjir orang-orang ketuker. Kapan gua Kingdom? Gua pakai baju EVOS, gua udah emang tepos. Emang orang-orang nih. Aduh. Gak paham gue kadang. Ya. Momen ini doang deh salahnya. Sisanya kalau nggak salah tadi ada si ini deh. Setahu gue di sini tadi si Aaron tuh nggak sengaja lewat sini dan ini belum dibuka. Jadinya tiba-tiba orang nangkep. Itu fatal juga sih. Kalau di PH mereka nggak bakal lari ke bus yang belum dibuka sih. Pasti dimundurnya ke sini. Biarin dok, udah gede bisa mikir. Nah itu dia. Tapi bener kan, penjelasan gue make sense kan? Maksudnya gue nggak bias. Gue juga mikirin POV player, gue kan nggak bisa bilang kayak oh lo di match itu gimana. Terus juga satu, gue juga pasti ngeliat sudut pandang mereka secara view, secara ini juga kita harus ngeliat. Kalau kita nganalisis subjektif bilang itu kemajuan, itu orang nggak akan belajar. Jadi kita harus tahu permasalahannya, kita tahu kenapa terjadi permasalahannya, kita kasih solve problemnya, kita ngingetin dia. Jadi orang itu juga tahu kesalahannya, dia belajar dari kesalahannya dan dia berkembang. Itu cara nge-coach. Itu namanya seninya nge-coaching lah. Ya, kalau cuma ngomong itu salah dan nggak kasih tahu kenapa dan dampaknya gimana atau kenapa lo melakukan ini, ya semua orang juga bisa. Betul nggak? Betul nggak? Betul nggak? Malah ganti item di situ nggak expect bro, dia nggak expect perhitungan miscalculate. Karena dia pikir masih bisa dimajuin. Ya gitu, pasti gitu. Kejadian itu pasti kayak gitu. Momen ini jadi end gak end. Sebenarnya harusnya perangnya adalah nggak diperangin pak, menurut gue. Udah paling bener tuh itu. Di reset dulu Lord. Iya nggak? 33 detik harusnya masih bisa perang lagi menurut gua. Dua orang missing masih bisa diperangin lagi tuh menurut gua. Itu good gameplay banget sih Doc Moreno, pasti orangnya mikir kalau lagi kawat tower gak pegang musuh gitu. Ya gameplay PTR berkembang banget sih. Gameplaynya PTR berkembang banget pak. Jadi momennya dibalikin nih, momennya dibalikin kenapa nih? Di sini dulu pak. Salah ini. Bukan salah juga sih ya. Jarang-jarang kok Aran pengen begitu. Ini juga Arannya kecepatan menurut gua. Biasanya nggak begini gameplaynya. Gameplaynya tuh Lordnya pasti dimainin dulu. Karena secara kuat kan balik lagi TLID 3,1k. Berarti harusnya yang megang Lord mereka. Sebenarnya Aran bisa main lebih objek dengan cara ya kontesnya tuh di sini aja, bukan makan orang. Tapi makan orang atau ngejoin orang aja. Kan lo pakai Akai di sini. Ketimbang lo makan Alpha kayak tadi di posisi agak dalam, peluangnya malah dibalikin. Harusnya udah main di sini, ini ditarik, Arannya nyari posisi, ngejauhin si jungler atau diperangin. Kalau gue sih jadi dia ngejauhin junglernya, fokus retry. Udah gitu doang sih paling. Terus reset deh. Next gamenya baru bisa dorong lagi. Ya kan? Ya enggak? Bisa lebih betternya bisa gitu.
Very low, but that's a spear of Alpha that might change the game. Alpha finds one, but Super Luke will fall. That's no retribution. I repeat, and Mon finds the double. No retribution because on Alpha. They can and they will fight.
Siki mau ke bawah nggak? Siki kayak mau ke bawah tuh.
No, yes, kill. You don't want to pull the trigger just now. This is the question for Nakai EXP composition. Once the heavy spin is gone, your window is literally closed.
Dokter nggak ada penghargaan dari MPL buat apa? Astaga, udah pernah gue kontenin bro. Capek dah.
2 nih, bisa.
Gue masuk nominasi MPL pernah. Gue juga masuk top 5 akun Mobile Legends yang
harus
kasih
optimis ya.
ilmu paling
kita
detail.
juga pengen tanya nih sama Om ya. Om dan Tante
dari
juga pastinya selalu setia mendukung Super Ken dan selalu hadir
dengan murid
setiap
terbanyak
Super Ken dan pastinya
di
Bigetron
Kumparan.
Alpha ketika sedang bertanding. Gimana
Apalagi
perasaannya Om Tante?
Juara pernah juga juara 2 WC.
Tenang sih, kita bisa
Perwakilan legend buat Aussie.
Selalu support ya dan selalu hadir untuk Ken.
WCG
Kalau
juga
Om
pernah.
sendiri gimana nih Om?
Ya kalau kita hadir selalu
supaya
memberi semangat kepada Super Ken dan tim supaya mainnya tambah lebih semangat.
Betul
Ada
sekali
lagi
dan
nggak?
gimana perasaannya bangga banget gak sih ngelihat
Pernah
Super Ken
juga
sendiri
ikut M4
selalu memberikan yang
qualifier.
terbaik.
Bangga.
Ayo mau sebut
Dan
apa
Om
lagi?
sendiri dan juga Cici
Mana
pastinya
bang buktinya di
bakal
konten,
hadir
makanya
ya
nonton
di
kontennya
Malaysia kalau
daripada lu
misalkan
cuma datang
Bigetron
ngehujat
Alpha
doang.
berhasil masuk ke
Datang
M6
ngehujat doang nggak
World
tahu lagi
Championship.
datang dihujat
Pasti
gimana.
hadir.
Pasti hadir ya. Oke,
At least-
nanti kita tunggu
at least ya.
pastinya hasil.
Cari dulu pak datanya baru ngehujat.
Ini dan kita berharap yang terbaik pastinya untuk
Ini
Bigetron
ngehujat
Alpha
dulu
dan
baru
juga
cari
pastinya
datanya.
untuk Bigetroopers yang sedang menonton dan tanpa berlama-lama lagi langsung aja kita lempar kembali
Udahlah.
ke panelist
Samsul
dan
balik dulu ke
silakan.
rumah dicari mak lu.
Semangat.
Udah gitu ngehujatnya salah lagi. Terakhir tuh Peparnas tuh gue yang handle juga tuh bantu tuh. Nah tuh tadi kan ada yang datang tuh Idris tuh. Nah itu salah satu orang yang gue coaching juga buat perwakilan nanti atlet nanti di Asia.
We saw Saint DeLucas.
Masih nanya lagi.
His
Nggak
kid,
pernah
5
coaching.
months, with his wife as well, and I'm pretty sure his parents
Stress.
as well.
Yeah, Spanish.
And we also saw Super Ken's family in the building.
Soundboard tuh kenapa tuh ratulis ya?
Back to a best of one for both of these teams.
Tuh lah, sehat-sehat lah, tolong lah. Kalau emang nggak masuk datanya skip aja bro. Nggak harus paksain juga kok kalau nggak mampu mikir ke sana.
This is where Team Liquid ID needs to prove themselves. This is what is going to separate them from the other teams. Because, yeah, sure, they're young bloods, they are hungry to win, but are they able to withstand 5 grueling games? The first 2 games were...
tapi gue nggak bisa bantuin gak tuh. Tapi gue nggak bisa nemenin kalian nobar lagi, Pak. Gue bentar lagi harus jalan, gue ke bandara.
This is where they are going to be tested. Their mental and everything, like their endurance as well.
Yeah, endurance. I think that's the key here. Endurance. So let's ask the
Bagian
audience
yang mana
right
tuh,
now,
bro?
how can TLID avoid a reverse sweep? They're now 2-2. Both teams are at match point. Bigatron are a game away of winning this entire game. And stepping forward to the upper bracket finals, it looks like 54% of you agree.
Guys, tapi kayaknya beneran deh, gue nggak bisa guys. Gue harus ke bandara, Pak.
Let's throw it over to
Jadi
you
ditunggu
first,
aja ya
audience.
kontennya
Do
ya.
you agree with
Oke
this
nggak?
statement?
I go
Oke
with the
nggak?
audience because on the
Kalian
last
mau gue
game,
end
I
stream
think that
atau
they
gue
are
biarin
trying to, like,
stream gini
rushing
tapi
the
gue
team
pergi,
fights.
Pak.
So,
Gue harus ke bandara soalnya.
Reno and Eman got the free position. They lose
Predik
the
yang
team
menang.
fight and they lose
Kayak
the
gue
game.
megangnya
That's why
nggak tahu ya tadi gue
before
feeling gue
that
BTR
team
ya.
fight, the position is like 50-50 for both.
Nggak tahu sih gue. Feeling gue kenapa BTR ya?
It's pretty rush because they knew that they had to get their hands on the Clint and they had to shut it down.
Tapi feeling aja ya.
Free hitting.
End stream aja ya udah. Soalnya gue harus cabut, Pak. Ada urusan. Gue harus ke bandara. Udah janji soalnya. Udahan aja dok. Ayo guys, ayo Adit. Logic dok.
But I think both of us can agree.
Tapi nanti kita lanjutin stream lagi kok.
On the
Oke?
XP lane, it needs to be an enabler hero.
Ditunggu kontennya dok. Ya gue udah lock 3 konten. 2 konten. Konten 1 makro, konten 2 mungkin mistake BTR. Di game berapa?
Don't give him a statue. I mean, Hylos is a statue hero. Sure, only like area you have is the glorious pathway, and that's it. You don't really have a heartlock CC
Mistake
that enables
TLID
the
di game
teammates to
ketiga.
pounce on the enemies.
Banyak tuh bisa di review semua.
Because I think Idris is
Yaudah ya.
best for
Oke.
perfect heroes to be
Thank you banget yang udah nemenin.
You can use it as a
Sering-sering
role, you can
nonton
use it
gua.
as XP
Gua harap
laner.
gua bisa terus
And
stream.
all of the crowd control.
Bisa sharing
Don't
ilmu
forget about the
ke kalian
power
meskipun
red.
belum
It
terlalu
have
rame
damage
yang
on
masih
it.
streamer kecil.
Until the late
Karena gue
game,
masih
it's
konten
very
creator
good.
kenanya, tapi gue harap gue bisa ngehibur kalian juga.
It's a wonder why we haven't seen the Edith surface
Nanti
just
perbanyak
yet.
lah
So maybe
ngobrol-ngobrolnya juga
now
guys.
we could
Ya
see
gue
it
biar
here
bisa
in our
berinteraksi
last
baik
game
dengan kalian juga.
of this best of 5 series.
Oke,
And
thank you and see you guys on the
are
next
actually on red side.
live.
So
Bye-bye.
actually off as we enter the drafting phase for game number 5, presented to you by our official tournament smartphone, Samsung Galaxy S24 FE. We saw a cheese pick in the Hilda in the first game. I'm wondering whether or not the strategy ends there.
They banned the
for
alpha.
TLID.
Now no alpha.